now where my kids ain't allowed to hang with white kids. Like you literally can't hang with these white kids. I promise you. And this is the thing.
Stop scrolling. Did she just ban her own kids from hanging out with an entire race of people? You will not believe the bizarre logic she uses to justify this.
White men are dangerous. White people are dangerous. When you are the only black friend out of the friend group, you almost always are going to be the one. When the police come, you the one going to catch a charge.
Wait, did you catch that? She's sitting on a couch, completely deadpan, explaining how her children are strictly forbidden from having white friends. She literally claims that white people are inherently dangerous and states that if the cops show up, the black kid is automatically going to take the fall. Look at the body language of the other people in the room. Nobody is pushing back. They are just letting this wild statement breathe. It's absolutely wild to see this level of casual division being broadcast like it's just normal parenting advice. She is actively conditioning her kids to view an entire group of people as a threat based entirely on their skin color. Imagine the absolute outrage if the roles were reversed here and a different mother said this on a massive platform. It's crazy how normalized this type of rhetoric is becoming on these podcasts. Are we really trying to move forward as a society, or are we just creating new rules for segregation and calling it protection? You have to wonder what her kids think about all this when they are actually out in the real world going to school every single day.
Hold on. Wait, I'm like, can you, okay, hold on. Let me understand this. So while he's 11, I'll have access to his medical records. But once he turns 12, the government locks me out.
Yes, because there's the I'm sure you've heard of HIPAA.
Yeah,
so
of course.
He now has privacy rights under HIPAA once he's 12.
So as a parent, I can't see my 12-year-old's medical records?
No.
What? I thought it was 14. I've heard.
Okay, so it's crazy, and I'm not saying that, like, I'm the bearer of bad news. Please don't with me.
No, I understand. You're just doing your job. It's okay.
I don't even agree with it. So, but, like, I literally had to have my daughter come in the doctor's office with me and say, you can give my mother access to,
Okay, pause right there. This mother just found out that because her son is over 12 years old, she is legally locked out of his medical records. 12. He's not even a teenager yet. She's on the phone with the doctor's office, and the receptionist is flat out telling her that state privacy rights now completely apply to her middle schooler, meaning the parent is completely blind to what's happening with her own child's health unless the child explicitly gives consent. Did you hear the shock in her voice? She even had to drag her daughter in just to grant elevated access to her own mother. We are talking about a child who legally cannot drive or sign a contract, but suddenly the state decides they have full autonomy over their medical history. As a parent, how are you supposed to protect and care for your kid if the system intentionally builds a wall between you and their doctor? It feels like we are completely redefining what parental rights mean today, handing over control to bureaucrats and stripping families of their basic ability to function as a unit when medical emergencies actually arise.
Make this rent payment effectively at the barrel of a gun, because we know that if we don't make this payment, our landlords can call on agents of state violence and who can use physical force to throw us outdoors. Living on rent strike, right? Like getting to experience having your housing without having to pay for it is one of those like liberatory, is a liberatory vision of home. Our movement has a division of labor that includes lawyers. It doesn't.
Listen to this. This activist is openly stating that collecting rent is essentially done at the barrel of a gun and is actively calling for the complete abolition of rent. She refers to not paying for housing as a liberatory vision of home. It is fascinating how she completely glides over the fact that someone actually built, maintains, and pays the mortgage on that property. She acts like housing just spawns out of nowhere and property owners are just mythical villains hoarding it. Look at the cover of the book she's promoting. It literally equates paying for the roof over your head to being shackled in chains. If nobody pays rent, who pays the property taxes? Who fixes the roof when it caves in? Who replaces the plumbing when the pipes burst in the middle of winter? This isn't just a fringe internet take anymore. This is a highly organized movement with legal backing. It is wild to see people demanding the labor and investment of others for absolutely free, wrapped up in the language of a human rights crusade. What happens to the entire housing market if this ideology actually takes off on a national level?
And then with the trans community, like, we're being dehumanized. They say that we want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. And if they want me to use the men's room, I will, but I don't want to be assaulted.
Did you hear what this candidate just said? This is a primary debate for the United States Senate, and the answer to a major policy question revolves almost entirely around bathroom access. The candidate explicitly states they just want to use the bathroom, claiming they are being dehumanized by the current political discourse. Now, regardless of where you personally stand on this specific issue, it is incredible to see how hyper-focused modern political debates have become on incredibly specific social topics. This isn't a local school board meeting. This is a race for one of the highest legislative offices in the entire country. You would generally expect the primary talking points to be about the economy, infrastructure, inflation, or foreign policy. Instead, we are dedicating primetime debate minutes to restroom logistics. It perfectly captures exactly where the current political climate is at right now. People are voting based on highly personalized cultural grievances rather than broad legislative experience. If this is what is taking center stage in our elections, you have to wonder if any of the actual pressing economic problems facing everyday citizens are going to get addressed anytime in the near future.
Embarrassing himself.
I've definitely been involved in doing a bunch of balanced budgets here in the Maine legislature. But if we want to balance the federal budget, the way to do that is to quit giving massive income tax cuts to people like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and start taxing wealthy people. I mean, really wealthy people, like none of us actually know the right way. I mean, this is insane. I mean, we used to have a tax rate that was fair, that wealthy people.
Check out this guy's grand plan to balance the federal budget. His entire economic strategy essentially boils down to just taxing Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos more. He's waving his hands, talking about how we just need to go after a handful of mega billionaires to fix a massive national debt deficit. It's the ultimate political magic trick. It sounds absolutely amazing to the crowd. Just make the wealthy guy pay for everything so you don't have to. But if you actually do the math, even if you seized all the wealth from every single billionaire in the country, it would only run the government for a few short months. The structural problem is how much the government is spending, but politicians like this will rarely ever admit that because cutting spending means cutting popular programs. So instead, they sell this fairy tale that there is a secret vault of billionaire cash that will magically solve decades of financial mismanagement. It is wild that people just nod along with this without ever asking for the actual numbers. It's pure performative economics designed to score cheap debate points without offering any realistic fiscal solutions.
Do people be deported if they came to this country illegally and there is a deportation order signed by a judge?
Look, I believe that if someone is here illegally and the only crime they committed was that, we need a pathway to citizenship here. We know they're hard, most of them, almost all of them are hardworking people.
Look at how casually this candidate dismisses the basic concept of national borders. When asked about deportations, his immediate pivot is to grant full amnesty and a pathway to citizenship for everyone who crossed illegally. He justifies it by saying they are hardworking people and that the only crime they committed was crossing the boundary line. It's a complete redefinition of national sovereignty. If crossing the border without permission immediately qualifies you for a pathway to citizenship, then what exactly is the point of having a legal immigration process in the first place? Imagine being someone who spent a decade filling out endless paperwork, paying thousands in fees, and waiting in line, just to watch a politician on stage say that bypassing the entire system should be rewarded. It fundamentally changes the entire incentive structure for global migration. If there are zero consequences for breaking the rule practically ceases to exist. It is incredible to watch candidates openly advocate for policies that essentially dissolve the basic function of a country's border, all while pitching it as the only compassionate option available. Which of these clips shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to hit subscribe for more raw reactions.